Hey everyone, Adam Lidolce from sexyconfidence.com, and in this video right now, we're gonna do something a little bit different. And I'm actually gonna answer a question from Danielle, who's one of my clients in my Unity program. And Danielle asks, Adam, I just started seeing a new guy, but I'm scared to open up to him because the last guy I dated completely ripped my heart out. How do I share more of myself without risking rejection? Well, Danielle, this is a really great question, and I'm gonna answer it in this video. So most people at some point in time in their life have suffered from a really excruciatingly bad heartbreak. But here's the problem. When someone hurts you really badly enough, just like developing the fear of touching a hot stove, your brain literally creates a defense mechanism that says, don't open yourself up or trust a person again, or else you're gonna get burned. Now, of course, we all know logically that love is literally nothing like touching a hot stove, because a hot stove, every time you touch it, it is going to burn you. Whereas finding love will either burn you or it's going to allow you to feel the greatest emotion that humans can possibly feel. So herein lies the issue with your question, Danielle. You cannot open up to a man without the inherent risk of rejection. And you also can't find love without opening up to a man. Vulnerability is a critical component of finding love. And in my experience, most people struggle to really remove that defense mechanism that comes once it is that they've gotten burned from a past relationship. And even worse, some people disguise this defense mechanism that they've built, or this wall that they've built up, they disguise that as being a form of strength. They say, you know what, I don't need love in my life. I don't need any of that. I can do all of this on my own. I can live my life on my own. But really what they're saying is, you know what, I'm just afraid. I'm afraid to get burned again. I'm afraid to touch that stove. Now's the time to break through that fear. What if I were to tell you that by sharing your greatest weaknesses, that is what makes you most vulnerable? And by making yourself vulnerable, you're actually showing your greatest strength. I mean, a coward, if you think about it, a coward, they'll get burned from a guy in the past or from a person in the past, and they'll say, you know what, I don't need anyone in my life, and then they'll create these barriers from anyone entering. But a very truly strong woman, a woman who is able to take control of her dating life, is able to say, you know what, shit, I'm fucking scared, and I don't want to get burned again, but it might happen. I might get burned again. I might get heartbroken again, and then it might happen even again. But I'm willing to take that leap of faith again until I find what it is that I want. The depth of our love is directly proportional to our ability to feel hurt and rejection. Basically, in order to feel the good stuff in life, you need to risk feeling the bad stuff. So then you're probably wondering, well, Adam, how do I actually do it? First, you need to practice the art of self-acceptance. And notice that I say self-acceptance, not self-love. And that's because there are just a gajillion gurus out there telling you, you know, love every aspect of yourself. And quite frankly, I think that's all bullshit. There will always be things about you and yourself, and there's certainly things about myself that you just don't like and that you're insecure about. And being more vulnerable means that you're willing to accept some of those flaws, certainly those flaws that you can't change, and even be willing to share them with others. Accept who you are and be okay with who you are, both the good and the bad, while of course trying to improve yourself to remove as much of that bad as possible. The second thing I want you to keep in mind as you're working on being a little more vulnerable is to just take it a step at a time. I mean, if you have, let's say for example, let's say you have a deep hidden secret from your past that you want to eventually muster up the courage to be able to talk it out with your man. Well, the first step of being vulnerable and learning how to be more vulnerable will be to maybe share something a little bit less important, something of a little less significance, and see how he reacts. In this way, you can start to build trust with one another. And as you earn his trust, he earns your trust, then you can start really diving deep into those things that maybe are a little bit more scary to share with them. And lastly, I need you to realize that imperfection is really an attractive quality. I mean, no man out there wants the, perfect woman. And quite frankly, men might say they want a perfect woman, but if they actually met that perfect woman, that woman who has no fears, no vulnerabilities, no weaknesses, then that man would be very, very skeptical. I mean, I want you to think about it this way. Imagine you meet a new guy or you start dating a new guy and he appears to be perfect. I mean, he has no flaws, he has no fears. Wouldn't you be a little bit skeptical? I mean, wouldn't you feel more connected to him if he started to reveal a little bit about himself, even if those things are not necessarily all positive? So Danielle, it's time to realize that opening up to a man or opening up to friends or your family, all the relationships in your life, quite frankly, it's not just about sharing that part of you that's just pretty and fun. True vulnerability is all about sharing parts of you that might not necessarily be as positive, but it's what makes you unique and different from everyone else. And that right there is exactly what develops intimacy between two people. That's where the good stuff exists. That's where the emotional connection is fused between two people. And for those of you who are watching and this resonates with you and want to join women like Danielle in my Unity program, you can be able to join our forum and our monthly calls every single month, where I'll be able to answer your questions, be able to give you more guidance on your life. So if you're interested, all you got to do is you can click right here, and you can be able to check out more of what we're actually talking about with Unity. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a like on YouTube. That really helps me out a lot. And if you want to get more videos like this every single week, don't forget to subscribe by hovering over this thing right here and clicking that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.